What's up, everyone? Abigora here, and today I'm going to be ranking every pay-per-view from this year from worst to best. As 2021 come to a close and with 2022 about to come, I feel like it was only right for me to make this video. So I'm mostly going to be looking into the matches that happened. And before I start, for all you guys that watch my videos, you should already know what number 11 is, which is last place because there was only 11 pay-per-views this year. You should already know what's the worst pay-per-view this year, according to Abigora. But anyways, if you guys are new to the channel, like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Link will be in the description down below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. At number 11, we have Hell in a Cell. The people that watch my video saw this one coming from a mile away. I mentioned it plenty of times in my videos that this is the worst pay-per-view this year. For those of y'all that don't understand, let me explain why this pay-per-view is so bad. 1, this pay-per-view was in June, not October, so we're off to a bad start. 2, this was the last pay-per-view in the Thunderdome, so they could have at least ended off the Thunderdome era of good, right? No, they didn't do any of that. 3, the matches on here was just so bad, especially Drew versus Bobby, which is the worst match here, but I'm gonna get to that match in a sec. Let's talk about the other matches. First, it had Bianca Belair and Bayley, and me being a fan of Bianca, this match was just okay to me. It wasn't horrible. Cesaro and Seth Rollins could have been better, but I just didn't like it. I hated the ending of the match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like, just no. Before I get to the Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair match, I just want to say Rhea Ripley's reign with the Raw Women's title was kind of disappointing. The only person she defended the title against was Charlotte Flair. Asuka doesn't really count because she never properly got her rematch, and the triple threat match at Backlash doesn't really count either. But the match was going fine until the match ended in the DQ. A lot of people hated that, including me. But the match I really want to talk about is Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. This match is literally so horrible. It's so bad that I don't want to even talk about the full match. Because if I did that, we'll be stuck here for hours. So I'm only going to be talking about the ending. So MVP's retarded self wanted to go inside the cage, and the refs had him locked inside of it. And he thought this genius idea to make a lot of people mad. He decided to hold onto Drew's leg as he was about to go for the Claymore, and then Bobby hit him with a spear and secure the win so Drew couldn't challenge for the title anymore as long as Bobby was the champion. All thanks to MVP and his genius tactics. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic, but you get the point. And that ending was the worst part about that match. And this is probably, no, definitely the worst match of the year in my opinion. But I'm done talking about this horrible pay-per-view. Let's just go to the next entry. At number 10, we have Extreme Rules. This is another pay-per-view where the ending of the pay-per-view was horrible. But let's get into the matches. First, it had a 6-man tag team match between The New Day and Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. This match had replaced Liv Morgan vs. Carmella since that match was on the kickoff show. And this match is just okay to me. The New Day ended up getting the win, and Bobby got mad and challenged Big E to a WWE Championship match the next night on Monday Night Raw. Next, it had the Usos and the Street Profits, which the match could have been a little bit better. I hated the match between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. That match was not it, especially the ending. The triple threat match between Damian Priest, Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy was great. Speaking of Jeff Hardy, WWE finally revealed the actual reason to release this man. But I'm not going to get to that. But let's continue. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch was going good until Sasha Banks interfered. And Becky literally thought that Sasha was on her side. But come on, bro. It's everyone for themselves. You gotta know that. And here we go. Roman Reigns versus Demon Balor. The only bad part about this match was the ending. So, of course, the Usos had interfered in the match. And then the lights turned red. And he got into his demon form. And he attacked everyone on sight. And he got on the top ropes. And it looks like he was going to win. But the top ropes broke down, leaving Roman with the spear and with the win. Horrible ending. If half of the matches were better, this would have been the top 3. At number 9, we have Survivor Series. I wasn't originally going to watch it the day it aired, but I decided to give it a chance to see how it turned out. And I really regret watching it. Almost the whole show was terrible. I'd say the only good matches on there was the Usos and RK Bro and Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. That's it. Everything else sucked. First, we start with a really bad beginning with Shinsuke Nakamura and Damian Priest being on the kickoff show. Like, really WWE? And that match wasn't even close to being decent. That match ended in a DQ, leaving SmackDown with the first points. Oh, and speaking of Raw and SmackDown, Raw literally destroyed SmackDown. The only point SmackDown won was from Shinsuke Nakamura and Roman Reigns. Everything else went to Raw. So Becky, Seth, Bianca, and RK Bro took the dubs for Raw. Roman Reigns literally carried SmackDown. The match he had with Big E was okay. It wasn't the greatest. But this is without a doubt one of the worst Survivor Series I've ever seen. If the points were half and half, this would have been a decent pay-per-view. At number 8, we have Crown Jewel. Now before y'all try to tell me why Crown Jewel is so low on the list, the only reason it's at number 8 is because of the Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and Sasha Banks match, and the Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar match. The rest of the matches were fine, I didn't really care about them. I just want to talk about the two matches that I just named. Started with the triple threat match. The first half was good, but the second half is just a no-no. And plus, y'all let Becky Lynch retain the title. Why? Just why, bruh? Y'all could have let Sasha win the title since Becky and Bianca is on Raw, and since Charlotte Flair was going to SmackDown, y'all could have let her vacate the Raw Women's title, and y'all could have crowned a new champion right there. And a lot of people won't even be mad at that. But it's WWE, and they always make dumb decisions to make the fans mad. Speaking of making dumb decisions, the ending of the pay-per-view was literally so bad, and that's what brought this pay-per-view down the list. Let me explain. So basically, Brock hit Roman with F5, and when Roman landed, it knocked off Charles Robinson, which is the referee. And while he was out, guess what happened? Roman hit Brock with the Universal Belt, and a new ref came in, and then 1, 2, 3 ring the bell. That has got to be the laziest way to win a match. Seriously, bro? If it wasn't for that ending, and the horrible booking in that triple threat match, this will be in the top 5. At number 7, we have Fastlane. This pay-per-view was just okay to me. Nothing special, but there was some slip-ups here and there. One, Shane McMahon faked his injury on his match with Braun Strowman, so Elias replaced him, and I guess you could see what happened after that. Elias got destroyed. And 2, the match between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan was a complete disaster. Obviously, I wanted Roman to retain the title, which he did do, but it did not have to end like this. Let me tell you what's wrong with this match. Daniel Bryan had put Roman Reigns in the yes lock, and Roman literally tapped out without the referee looking. And that left Roman Reigns getting away with the win by cheating. And that right there, Bryan should have won. Even though I wanted Bryan to lose, he should have been Universal Champion. And you guys already know what happened after that. Bryan third-wheeled his way into the main event of WrestleMania 37. What a terrible ending to Fastlane. I know I pretty much ran it on the ending of pay-per-views, but that's what WWE needs to work on. If WWE had better endings of their pay-per-views, then the same part of the show wouldn't get hated on so much. At number 6, we have the Elimination Chamber. This was a good pay-per-view with a good ending. I'll say the Raw Elimination Chamber match was better than the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. The SmackDown one was good too, but the prize was a Universal title match. But it was right after the Chamber match, and it wasn't really fair. I really liked the United States title match between Bobby Lashley, Riddle, and John Morrison. And I liked how Riddle tried to stay away from Bobby, and it worked out for him. And Riddle ended up winning the title. That was a nice moment. And after the Raw Elimination Chamber match, which Drew ended up winning, Bobby Lashley came out of nowhere and started attacking Drew. That would begin their feud between the two. leading up them to WrestleMania 37. And of course, The Miz was waiting for the opportunity to cash in on Drew and win the WWE title, becoming the first ever two-time Grand Slam champion. Of course, a lot of people were mad, but at the same time, some people were completely fine by it, including me. Overall, this was a good pay-per-view and good decision making by WWE. Also, I'm still kind of mad that The Miz only held the title for 8 days, but Bobby had a good reign, so I don't really got nothing to say about it. At number 5, we have Money in the Bank. This was also a good pay-per-view, starting off with the women's ladder match. I was kind of neutral with Nikki ASH winning it, but now that time has passed, I'll say it was the right call. I know y'all may not agree with me with that one, but Liv Morgan could win the Raw Women's title at day 1, and Nikki kind of deserved it. Speaking of deserving things, Big E winning the briefcase was a great decision, and him cashing in on Bobby too was a good move, because Bobby was messing up the New Day, so Big E had to get revenge and take the title away from him, which was an awesome moment. And then the main event, Edge versus Roman for the Universal title. This match was fire. The ending of the match could have used some work, but this was still great. And here comes the best part, John Cena's return. This was epic, and he had the whole arena exploding. People have been asking for his return, and they got it. Only 2 rules to Roman at SummerSlam, but we'll get to that. At number 4, we have Backlash. I know that this is named WrestleMania Backlash, but that was just stupid by WWE, and they haven't earned me calling it WrestleMania Backlash, so we'll just stick with Backlash for now. But anyways, this was a great pay-per-view. My favorite match was probably Bianca versus Bayley. The ending could have used some work, but great match. And the Mysterios winning the SmackDown Tag Team titles was good too. And Roman Reigns and Cesaro was the match of the night. And Cesaro was so close to winning the title. He tried his hardest to beat Roman, but it just wasn't enough. The triple threat match for the Raw Women's title was cool too. Even though it was the same people, it was alright. Overall, I have nothing to say. At number 3, we have SummerSlam, one of the best ones we see in a minute. The matches we're going to exclude is Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie and Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal because those matches weren't special. But anyways, the championship matches were great, except for one, and it was the SmackDown Women's title match. And I was so salty that Bianca lost the title to Becky in 26 seconds. And there's something I want to talk about. When Bianca lost the title, people were saying that she deserved more. But when Bianca was getting championship opportunities, y'all was saying that she was over pushed. And when she kept fighting Doudrop, y'all were getting mad that she was in the mid-card feud. This is what I be talking about. Y'all can't even make y'all minds up when she is getting opportunities. And for the people that's saying that she's over pushed, y'all don't be saying the same thing with Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, or Sasha Banks gets pushed. And they have won the same titles many times. Like, y'all gotta stop. But anyways, let's continue. Roman Reigns versus John Cena was a 5-star match in my opinion. And Brock Lesnar's return was legendary. And the look on Paul's face was so funny. I bet he didn't saw that one coming from a mile away. Overall, amazing finish to the show. At number 2, we have the Royal Rumble. My god, this was awesome. Roman and Kevin was top tier. The Women's Royal Rumble was exciting, and the Men's Royal Rumble was epic. Edge returning from 1 and surviving all the way to the end was smart. Perfect way to end the pay-per-view. Sasha vs. Carmella was cool, nothing special. With Edge winning the Rumble was so cool. And I hope they let someone under push win the Royal Rumble next year. Someone like Ricochet, Kevin Owens, or Finn Balor. Also, don't let anyone that won the Royal before win again because that would just ruin the whole vibe. But this was great. At number 1, we have WrestleMania 37. We all saw this one coming. Where do I even begin? Main event of night 1, fire. Main event of night 2, fire. Bianca got the push that she deserved for a long time. She should have been NXT Women's Champion before she came to the main roster. And the triple threat match, 50 stars. One of the best matches of the decade so far. I wanted Edge to win at first, but having Roman retain was a good decision. They are really making Roman the final boss in WWE, and it's great. I don't know if he's going to retain at WrestleMania 38, but it could potentially happen. I guess we'll see what happens. That's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. And if you did, please like and subscribe because this took me a very long time to make. This YouTube stuff is really so stressful. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.